Hello and welcome to the third and fourth place match, everybody. The GSA's Super Mario Odyssey Triple Bingo Tournament with LilAggy versus GSA. I have with me Stravos as, well, I would say the main commentator because he knows everything about this game. I'm tagging along. But
Hello,
yeah, he's Stravs.
it's
Um,
me.
what do you got to say about these runners? You would probably know them a lot more than I do. So what do you think about their progress and
Yeah,
what they've been doing?
as far as bingo goes, I'm a little bit more accustomed to Bry Guy because I actually had to go up against him in the tournament myself, and I studied him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's very good at routing. He's very knowledgeable. I feel like LilAggy has the edge in gameplay movement, though, for sure. So it'll
Okay.
be interesting to see which one comes out on top. Knowledge and routing experience or gameplay. That's just my thoughts on it though.
Mm,
I honestly don't know too much about LilAggy's bingo experience, so
okay.
maybe he'll prove me wrong in that
Well,
aspect
obviously did really well to reach here, so that's good. It's a good sign.
for sure.
All right, so well we have here the runners themselves, Aggie and Ragai. Hey guys, how do you guys feel?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm feeling all right.
Good stuff.
Yeah, same. I mean, coming off a tough loss just about an hour and a half ago, so I'm ready to hopefully really show off what I've got. Get another.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you guys expect from this, or do you guys expect to perform better than last time at least?
I think for me personally, I have to do better than my last race,
Yeah.
just in parts. I did really poorly in that one. I chose a really bad route, and the gameplay wasn't all there either. So I can only go up from here.
That'll happen, and that's the thing with bingo, right? Because like bingo, you make a decision, and most of the time you have to stick with the decision because
Yeah.
once you get into like a few minutes of that decision, you can't really go back. It's like, well, it's too late now. I'm just gonna lose time if I switch. So that's what's scary
Yeah.
about bingo.
That's exactly what happened. I knew I was
Yeah.
gonna lose that match within 15 minutes of it starting.
Right. Yeah, that'll happen.
Just no matter what I did.
Yeah, totally. I'm feeling the opposite problem right now. I felt like my gameplay was really sloppy earlier, and it just did not show what I was expecting. And so I warmed up a little more between now and then. I'm ready to go. This hopefully it can be a little cleaner. But I want to again echo what Strav said. LilAggy has me by far in gameplay. You're going to see much cleaner movement, but hopefully my routing can make it.
Okay, well then there you go. Any last words before we get going?
Not on this
Good
one,
luck.
no. Just good
Yeah.
luck, yeah.
All right, cool. Well then we'll get right to it.
Awesome.
All right, thanks guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Strav. Well, I mean, let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna feed off of you. You know, I'm gonna learn a lot from this bingo. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I did watch. I've been watching the last race. I think it was with Aggie, and I realized off the bat it was a lot like SNC4 bingo. I mean, Mario bingos in general, I guess, would be pretty similar because of the nature of them and the nature of Mario itself. But the card looks great. Like in terms of the objectives, they're really well put together. I like it a lot. It looks really interesting.
Yeah, the main difference is we don't actually have to complete the game. So it's a lot about trying to find which rows, like which route you can do that will complete the game or complete the route sooner in the
Precisely.
game. So like you could get a metro finish, which could be pretty good, but also if you got to do stuff in metro as well, then like it might just be better to route around going to snow
Right.
anyways. So yeah, it's definitely very heavily knowledge based on how long anything might take to even do.
Right. Which is, yeah, most bingos, I think. So, all right. Well, so we're off, and let's see how it goes. So, yeah, there goes the card. It took a little while. Okay, so we have the card open.
Yeah, so the middle square is 40 original coins in wooded. That's honestly not too bad for middle square. Trying to look.
I guess it's a good thing to base it off. Yeah, the middle square is like one of the most important, I guess. At least in a triple
there's
bingo.
only 2 snow and seaside goals. 10 moons in seaside is quite a bit, so hopefully they can avoid that. I mean, it's not too much. That's just any percent seaside.
Right.
But it, I mean, it kind of combos. Like, it wouldn't be too bad in row 3, I guess. But column 2 is looking a lot worse because you also have to do a world peace with it. So probably not going to seaside. Maybe though. 10 regional coins in snow definitely seems better if they were to do a longer finish. Trying to look. I mean,
9 moons from nuts. I mean, I guess it could work well with like the 40 coins in wooded, but those two objectives don't really work. They're not in the same row or column or anything like that, so it might be.
it can be hard to make that happen.
Yeah.
I'm looking at row 2, and that's honestly not that bad of a row. I feel like that might be the easiest single thing to do. Single line, I should say.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. But then again, of course, it's triple bingo, so you gotta think, where can I incorporate this with? What other rows or columns does this work together with? You know. And if it doesn't work together with that row, then then that row might even make sense at the end of the day. So it's a lot of thinking going in.
Yeah, both runners finishing up Cap Kingdom at pretty close to the same time. I honestly didn't catch if they took a life apart, but I would expect both of them to do so, since it is on the board. And it looks like both did. They're not necessarily going to be doing it, but doing that card, or that space, but it's always good to get it, since it's just an extra second, and you'll regret it if you do want to take that route. Also, both players going for purple coins in Cascade.
Where is that on the bingo card? Oh, there it is. 30 regional coins in Cascade. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the easier purple coin objectives to do.
I would imagine. I see that it's kind of like a trend in the Mario games where the first stage, I mean, generally is usually the easiest. At least the layout of the stage is usually the easiest and or quickest. So like Cascade being the first kingdom, well, second, but being the second kingdom, usually, you know, grabbing 30 coins there would be faster than grabbing 30 coins in snow or something, for example, you know. That's kind of like the trend for Mario games, but it makes sense.
Yeah, okay, so if I was to route this board, I would probably do row 2, column 3, and maybe top left, bottom right. That would be probably what I would go with, having to make a quick decision, personally. So we might be seeing something close to that from these runners, especially because LilAggy is going into the 8-bit section right now. He's taking a detour specifically for it.
100 moons total
already.
100 moons total. It seems like, I mean, it sounds like a lot, but I'm guessing it won't be that bad, depending.
Yeah. Especially if they're going for like 16 moons in Lost, that helps towards it.
Yeah.
20 moons in Lake, right? So that's why I was saying my routing column 3, row 2,
right?
Because there's a lot of synergy there for moon totals,
right?
And it's honestly like you got to do some regional coin knowledge stuff in there, which I'm personally good at, and I expect these guys to be good at as well. And 4 unique life aparts, that's honestly one of the easier things to do on a card as well. Usually you see a higher number than that. like 6, I think. So that's pretty good too. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, now that I'm thinking about it more, both runners might be doing this. It does have a snow finish, but you're not really doing too much along the way that you can just kind of do any percent.
Can you explain to me why snow is kind of, I guess, controversial in this matter, or like in a bingo?
Because if you can do a bingo card that ends in wooded, for example, like you're gonna want to try to end in wooded if you can.
Right, of course. Oh, so to be able to get into snow, you have to go through all the.
Yeah.
Right, of course. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But a lot of the time, it's hard to avoid because of synergies and just how the card is laid out.
Right, yeah. Especially
And,
if it's
and
triple
sometimes, like, you might get something that appears to allow you to get an early finish, but it might require so many extra moons or so many extra things that it's actually longer than just going through the kingdoms.
Yeah.
As well. And especially for an any percent runner like myself, I'm not opposed to going through a bunch of kingdoms if I have to.
Right.
So LilAggy, who's quite good at any percent himself, might also be looking at something like this, for sure. It looks like both might be, honestly.
Spending a lot of time in Cascade, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's still a little too soon to say for sure, but if I had to guess, I don't know. It seems like one of the better routes.
I love how the music changes for the 2D parts. It's so good. I mean, both players looking pretty solid. I mean, no seemingly big mistakes or anything like that so far. So it's. Alright, Bragg, I also grabbing that hard, so yeah, I think he's definitely doing the content. Yeah, they just both marked the same one, so similar beginning for both of them.
Yeah, slightly different routing, but both ending at about the same time, so
Right.
it's not really making too much of a difference.
Oh yeah, look at that, almost even.
So, yeah,
Almost
both
seems like an
players-
80% race right now.
Yeah, both players they have 2 8-bit sections and 2 life up hearts. So that's the progress so far. I don't think anything else has been done. I mean, they added to their total moon count as well. So that can help for 100 moons. Man, I feel like a bingo runner. I created a route pretty fast.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean,
Like,
the more
this is
experience
actually-
you have overall, you know, you probably adapt to bingo quicker as well.
Yeah, this is a card that I was really confused at first, but like I don't know, maybe I'm getting better. Maybe watching these guys has improved my routing skill with bingo.
Did he join this bingo tournament?
Yeah, I did. I got knocked out pretty quickly by Bryguy though.
Oh,
round
wow.
2.
It goes to
I
show that
chose
the
a
routing
pretty poor
experience.
route.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That's bingo
I
for
also
you.
played pretty poorly.
That's bingo for you.
Yeah, my plan in that was just to hope for a good card. That's
Right.
basically hope for an
Yeesh.
easy card. Yeah. Alright, so far I don't think there's anything that the runners have shown in sand that they're doing differently.
Yeah, both follow around the same route so far.
Yeah. One thing that we'll be looking out for is they could potentially be doing sub areas in sand and moon shards in the sand. So if they go up they're probably going to be going up into the 8-bit tower anyways, because both have shown that they're going for 8-bit goals. but the question is whether or not they'll actually take that moon at the top of the tower, because that allows you to access the moon shards in the sand moon.
Oh yeah, okay, I see it now. 7 moons from 8-bit section.
Yeah, so both are in the 8-bit tower right now. Let's see if either does the skip. And no. Well, okay. Okay, a little half skip there. Ooh.
Whoa, that was a good one.
LilAggy. Yeah, LilAggy pulling out some interesting strat there.
That was crazy. I feel like it almost looked spontaneous, like he didn't actually mean to do it.
And yeah, both players taking this moon. It's a pretty slow moon, so you wouldn't see it unless they needed it. Usually. And it looks like LilAggy might not be going... Well, they could just be getting this moon first. Maybe they'll go there later. Yeah, both players not going directly to the moon shards in the sand moon. Actually, I take that back. Bry Guy's going to it now. Some cool bullet bill routing for that. So yeah, so far my prediction seems pretty correct. At least for Bry Guy. LilAggy getting the Jaxi. This is probably to get to the sub areas quicker. So he'll get Sphinx and maybe luggage on his way to the sub areas. Bry Guy now just getting the moon shards moon.
Okay, so it's either TLBR, Column 5, or Row 5. I mean, you said earlier TLBR was looking good. Possibly.
Yeah,
Do you
the only
think that
thing...
he might be edging towards that one?
Yeah, like 100 moons is a lot, but if he's combining that, if they're combining that with extra moons in Lake or Lost, it's really not bad at all.
Right.
Especially with a later finish like Snow. I mean, a late finish is a late finish no matter what, but if you can get easy goals along the way, it's gonna help. And then...
So he's grabbing... Oh, alright. So he's grabbing his moon from the sub-areas. So I'm guessing that would be to that.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense now.
So that indicates to me that it's more likely that if you're doing sub-areas, you're going to be doing top left, bottom right as well. But they could be... maybe they're... brave and gonna do row 2 and get 2 moons from keys. So there's 1 key in Lake in a sub area, so that could help with extra moons in Lake. And there's another key in Lost, and that one is a hard one to do with the fast strat anyways. So they might have a chance to show off a little bit.
Right.
Or they might just do it slow and safe.
Yeah, but it is true. They have the option for row 2 or TLBR at this point.
Yeah. Row 2 wouldn't be that bad either. I mean, 3 checkpoints in Lake. I mean, how how slow could that be?
Actually, I think that is exactly what he's doing because they have the 8-bit section goal on row 2, and he was doing that. Well, they both were. So it kind of... but it could also mean that they're just doing column 5. Wow, there are many options. Too early to say, I think, but...
Yeah, column 5 wouldn't be that bad either. I think in normal any percent wooded, you get like 7 nuts normally anyways, so it's not that hard to just get 2 more. It's something like that. I don't know how many nuts there are exactly. I should probably know. along the normal any percent route at least. But yeah, getting a lot of nuts isn't very hard, especially if you're also going out of your way for regional coins in Wooded. That can work nicely. So column 5 wouldn't be that bad either. Like, since you also get 16 moons in Lake and 20 moons in Lake at the same time, that's pretty good. There's honestly a lot of possible ways they can do it.
Lake is also a pretty fast kingdom, so
And
I think it's a good choice.
yeah, I think I just convinced myself otherwise. Column 5 is pretty good. Because doing 4 moons in sub areas, as you can see, these players are going to be able to get a lot of extra coins pretty easily, so that can help with the costume sets. Yeah, so there's a lot of possible ways to route this.
It usually is. Like, from my personal experience, at least from triple bingos, it's you have the cards in mind, but then basically what you're saying is what I'm thinking of while playing. You know, there's a billion ways to route. You have to make up your mind and choose one, and you never
Yeah,
really
it
know which
seems-
one is the fastest, but you just gotta go with one anyway.
Yeah, it seems like there's 4 good lines. I might be missing another decent line at least, but as far as my preference goes, I see 4 good lines, and that's row 2, column 3, bottom left, top right, and column 5. And so any combinations of those would be pretty good.
So how about the deep woods? I see there's a deep woods goal. Is deep woods ever a bad place to go? Is it really slow?
It's not that slow. In fact, at one point, for any percent, we even tried to route it in, and it wasn't too bad. It got close enough that it was definitely worth checking into. But yeah, it's not. You can route deep woods if you're skilled in it to be pretty fast.
Right.
Something that Bry Guy did in the race earlier today, he was actually able to use a warp painting from Metro to go back to Wooded and finish up a high moon count Wooded goal and end in deep woods, so he didn't have to go back up
Oh, that's good.
the vines, and that was really nice routing. I was blown away by that. I did not expect that at all.
That's what separates the good bingo players from the. I mean, you'd always have to be a top runner, you know.
Yeah. So far, I'm looking at Bry Guy in Lake right now, and he immediately went to Rango, pretty much. And so what that does is allow you to get more moons available in the kingdom. So he's definitely gonna be going for one of the high moon count totals in Lake here. And let's see what LilAggy does.
And so yeah, it could mean that column 3 is definitely a thing. If that's what he's doing, 20 moons in lake and column 3.
Yeah, because I don't think I saw either runner get 20 moons in sand, so row 1 is out. That would also mean column 2 is out, but they could be doing column 3, maybe column 5, maybe even row 3, because that's not that bad either, if you're choosing to do a seaside finish instead.
So my guess right now, if he's going for 20 moons in lake, column 3, and then there's 3 checkpoints in lake, which I think he's definitely gonna do, obviously.
I mean, they might do it, but not actually have it be part of their route. Just because it's easy to get checkpoints.
I guess so. I just don't see how. I mean, if you're gonna get the 3 checkpoints, if you're gonna do something, I think it's always a good idea to have it implemented into your route somehow. But
yeah, it's such an easy goal that and it wouldn't be that bad considering I don't know. It just depends if they're doing column 5 or row 2, because in my mind, Both players are doing column 3 and top left, bottom right.
Oh,
That might
no.
not be true yet, but
Okay, Bry Guy failed getting into that platform. Fell down.
yeah. They might not be doing the diagonal, but it's always good to have a row, a column, and a diagonal, because that way you can eliminate extra squares. So I would assume they would probably be using the diagonal as well, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just reading into the math part of that too much. Or the organization part of my brain rather than actually knowing how fast certain things are. Because, yeah, originally I didn't see column 5 all that well, and looking at it ever since I brought that up earlier, it is a very good one to do. So they might be doing 2 columns in a row. They might be doing like column 3, column 5, row 2. And that also eliminates the hassle of doing 100 moons, which can be a hassle to keep track of.
Yeah,
it might be kind of easy, but
that is true. There's no. I'm actually surprised that there is no like on the world view of the map when you're in the Odyssey. There's no like when you hover over like kingdoms. I feel like it'd be cool if it could tell you how much moons you have for each of the kingdom that you've been in.
Because I'm starting to look closer, and I'm pretty sure they can finish this bingo in Lost. If they don't do the diagonal, which would definitely be worth it, because then you don't have to play any of Metro.
Yeah, I think having to go to snow might be one of the worst decisions because of that. Because you have to go through so much.
Originally, without taking many other things in consideration, it wouldn't be that bad. But looking closer, yeah, it's looking like they're probably gonna avoid it. Yeah, it's looking like LilAggy's about to get his first key, I believe, is this room. Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be getting a key moon in here. Honestly, not sure if Rye Guy did this already. He could.
Yeah, he did.
Done it. Yeah.
Yeah. A little while ago.
I thought probably.
So at the moment, Bry with 2 moons more than Aggie. Again, it wouldn't mean, if they are not doing the same route, then it wouldn't really mean anything. But we'll see how it goes in the next few minutes.
Yeah. Ever since I came to this new conclusion, forgive me, I'm a little bit bad at bingo routing still. I think this is a much better route, the one that I said, column 3, column 5, row 2, and it would be a mistake if my new assumption is still the best assumption. I don't know. It would be a mistake to have different routes here, probably.
Oh, there you go. Bry Guy just confirmed the 16 moons and lake and column 5, so it does seem like column 5 is his thing. So you were right on that one. The
Yeah,
math
we'll have to
was
see
right.
if he does column 3 as well.
Yeah.
Looks like he will be going for even more moons, so yeah, that's something that worries me though, is I'm not sure if I know where 20 moons are, or how to even route a whole 20 moons in that fast.
Well, it wouldn't really make any sense for him to do row 3 anymore, because I mean he's already doing row 2 and column 5, and he marked the row 4, the 30 regional coins. So if he does row 3,
Oh,
then
yeah.
that means he changed his
Column
mind somewhere. Column 3, yeah, of course. Yeah, column 3 would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fry Guy also making sure to get a life apart here, so I believe he is at 3 now. Yeah, pretty sure he's at 3. With the routing, it could have been possible to get 4 already, but I don't think either player opted for that. I guess you could have finished it in sand, potentially, but that requires going into slots, which is kind of a slow moon. If you also want to get a moon from there anyway. It's the only reason why you'd want to do it in slots, unless you have a really high life apart goal. And Bry Guy now marking 20 moons in lake.
Our guy seems to have the edge over Aggie
Yeah.
a little bit.
LilAggy's still only 2 moons behind, so that can definitely change. As we've said before, LilAggy is definitely the better runner in terms of movement.
Right. Execution.
So, but this also does seem like a pretty straightforward board now that I've examined it further. So I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
It's just a question of how few mistakes you can make. Pretty sure both runners are going to be doing the same route here. So far, they've marked the same goals, so
They're actually
it'd be
pretty close.
pretty safe to say they're doing the same route, but
Aggie only about maybe 30 seconds or so behind.
yeah, and that's definitely anyone's race still.
Yeah, I mean, any big mistake. Wooded next. Wooded. It's very easy to die in Wooded. I mean, at least from personal experience, I definitely die in the most on this stage, and one death could cause a big difference. Interested to see the routing in Wooded, because Wooded is a really large kingdom.
Yeah. So we're seeing Bry Guy already just moving through, skipping some extra moons he could be getting because he knows he needs to get some nuts. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get the tree nut behind where he just came from, but he must know where 9 are and which are the ones he prefers. LilAggy choosing to go for extra moons here, maybe out of any % habit. Yeah, also getting the shop, which could be bad if he doesn't count how many moons he actually needs in total.
Oh, he's buying the costume.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to buy costumes quite yet. Oh, but he didn't get the moon, so, I mean, that's fine.
What would you say is the biggest kingdom in Odyssey?
Ooh. I mean,
I feel like Wooded might be. I don't know. I'm trying to think of it.
yeah.
Wooded.
I mean, just in terms of how far the kingdom spans across, Bowser's would probably be one of the biggest.
Oh, I guess
just
so.
because you travel pretty far at a time, but it's also pretty linear. So, like, just as far as a condensed kingdom, like we see in Wooded, I think I'd have to give it to Wooded.
Yeah.
It's pretty large. It also has deep woods, which is kind of like its own extra kingdom in itself.
Yeah. Definitely. It was
So-
pretty interesting to see. I mean, I think Sand was decently similar, but I mean, Lake and Wooded so far, they have quite different. There's quite a difference in the routes that they've taken in both of these kingdoms.
Yeah. I mean, with how many extra nuts you need to get,
Right.
it makes sense. They could have preferences on different nuts, or just nuts they even know about. And there's also a little bit of routing involved on... Ooh, Bry Guy taking a death there.
Ooh.
That's going to allow LilAggy to catch up. I mean,
It's just like what I was talking
already
about before.
has Yeah, LilAggy already has more moons than Bry Guy does.
Mhm.
So yeah, this can turn around real quick right now. He does have less purple coins though.
Yeah, but I got grabbing 3 of the purple coins, but not the 4th one. Not really sure why I did that.
Yeah, I mean, if you make a mistake with homing Cappy, sometimes you can just keep homing and waste a bunch of time doing that.
Right.
So as long as you get most of the coins, you'll get more later.
Right.
Like,
That's what I thought. Yeah.
so you can afford to miss a few. But both players really close to the same place here.
Like I said before, you know, death in wooded is pretty common, and now they're really close.
Yeah, this is a pretty insane race.
Yeah.
For the bronze match, having a board that looks like both players are doing the same exact route.
And again, Aggie has
It's
1 extra moon, so we'll see what happens after wooded. Oh, who finishes wooded first?
1 extra moon, but less purple coins.
Yeah, and that's where the interesting part comes in.
But he's already bought a few costume sets. Personally, I think that's kind of a mistake because now he has to go back into the shop again sometime to get even more costume sets, where Bry Guy might just want to get all of them at once and just do 1 trip to a shop when he finally does it. But depending on the routing, it could be an okay idea. Like if you're gonna get the rest with
Right.
purple coins.
Almost synced
somewhere.
right now.
Doesn't seem to make too much sense in this board to do anything different though. Could just be habit. Maybe what he's comfortable with. And while you're doing something as monotonous as shopping, you can think about the route a little bit more. So maybe he's just making it more comfortable on himself. Both players screen white in the transition.
Yeah, pretty much even right now. And now it's gonna be interesting to see the routing.
Both players wrapping up their purple coins. It looks like Bry Guy.
Oh, Aggie pulls ahead now from that bonk that Bry Guy had. But doing some different moves.
This is. I think I'm just gonna stay silent for a bit and watch. Let's just observe.
Yeah. Alright, so Aggie, yeah, had to take the 2nd trip.
Yeah, LilAggy still has to get more purple coins than Bry Guy does. But less moons. Opting
that's-
not to get the nut moon in the tree is LilAggy. Maybe he has a different plan.
Well, that's it. That's all 4 costumes bought right away.
Why?
Bry Guy.
Maybe he's going up here to get the other life heart. Maybe he forgot the. Can't remember if he got the one in the tower, so maybe he's just going up here to get it out of the way as well on the rest of the moons he needs. Not a bad idea. There are extra purple coins to get by taking routing like this. LilAggy is done on his moon count right now. He just needs a few more purple coins, it seems, and the life up heart. No? Okay, never mind. Never mind. I spoke too soon. Getting the 2D section though, probably. No, yeah, definitely a good idea. I forgot about that.
Oh, right,
See,
of
this is
course.
why I'm bad at bingo.
I mean, it's triple bingo. It's a lot. It's constant thinking compared to
Yeah,
single.
if you want 7 moons from 8-bit sections as early as possible, the earliest you can do it is Lost if you get every 2D section that you can.
Oh wow.
So that'll. Ooh no!
Oh
Bry
my
Guy
lord. He's in a deep woods
falling
now.
in. Yeah, he falling into deep woods.
Oh gosh.
I was starting to think that LilAggy was taking the lead anyways,
Right. Yeah.
but now this is a complete lead change. That's no bueno.
Oh no. He's
So not only did he not get that nut moon, but he has to come back out of deep woods. So there is actually a way to get out of deep woods faster that we know of by switching your game mode into assist mode. What do you think about potentially adding that into bingo? Do you think that's a good idea to have, or do you think it should be banned?
So how does that work exactly? How does it help you get out of deep woods faster?
So if you change into assist mode, all you have to do is go into the options and choose assist mode, right?
Right.
And what that will do is it'll just load Wooded again, and you'll be at the Odyssey.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's quite the time save. However, you'll be in assist mode, which can be awkward and weird to look at, but I mean, it's definitely a time save. And as far as bingo is concerned, I don't know, maybe it should be allowed?
I mean, yeah, that's a good question. Is assist mode even banned? I'm not even sure if it's not
Yeah,
allowed per se. It's just something I guess that was never really considered to be a thing. Or to
Yeah,
be...
I think for the most part, it's just kind of an unspoken rule at the
Yeah.
moment. So I think if a player was to do it in their race, I don't know if we could really ban them for it, but at the same time, it's like it's tentatively banned.
Right.
Like, you know. But anyways, Bry Guy finally getting out of Wooded, doing everything he needs after his brief detour. That might cost him though. Because as we said before, LilAggy is the better any percent runner. But if Bry Guy knows how to do the fast key strat and LilAggy struggles on it, we could see another lead change right at the end here as we enter what seems to be the final kingdom.
Now, important to note too that Aggie does not have all 4 costume sets bought, and also doesn't have the 4 unique life up hearts ticked.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
if you
trying to
already did
think,
it or
is
just
there-
forgot to.
Is there a life up heart in Lost? I
That I
don't
won't
think
know.
there is. I don't think there is. So if LilAggy forgot to do a life apart on his way, he might have to enter Metro and go in the tower to get his last life apart. Or in the City Hall climb.
Could be something they just forgot as well. That it's very common to forget one little thing, and that could create a huge difference in routing and a lot of time loss potentially.
Yeah. So if that's the case, and it's not just that he forgot to mark it, that could also be a way
Right.
that Bry Guy catches up. But we see LilAggy getting the checkpoint at the top of Lost, as is just kind of customary at this point to do when doing extra things in Lost. Oftentimes you'll see that. Because that way they can warp back up later and do some other stuff. Like right now he might even do it.
Aggie does get a 7th moon from 8-bit, so that is done for him.
Yep.
So that's
So
something.
choosing to death warp right now to get back up to the top of the tower.
So again, this is, I
Top
mean,
lost.
it's hard to tell because Braga has two objectives that Aggie hasn't completed. And,
Yeah.
but even though Aggie still has about 5 moons, 6 moons now, more than Braga. So, I mean,
Yeah, Braga definitely routing this out better. However, making that big mistake in Wooded, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna come out, the mistakes or the routing, you know?
getting very interesting very fast.
LilAggy making sure to get rid of the Klepto trigger by going near Klepto. That's something that
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That was close. Aggie had a little bit
that's
of
something that I seem to forget to do in my bingos is to activate Klepto. But we see we see Bryguy.
Oh my lord. I was freaking out there for a second. I'm
Ah.
like, I was asking,
Bryguy wanted,
I wasn't sure if he wanted to be that low down or what was
yeah,
going on
he
there.
did. So
Okay.
what Bryguy was trying to do was bring Glydon over to the key, so that way he can do the fast strat to get the key. It's a capture warp or a dram strat, if you will.
Right.
To be able to dive into the key and then capture Glydon to avoid taking a death.
Yeah, I can't follow the
Because
drams
if you
anymore.
die, then you lose. Yeah, if you die, you lose the key. So,
Oh, okay.
so you got to get the key and survive. And the normal way to do it is to take a capture, take one of those wigglers over a huge, long distance, just slowly walking with it over there.
Oh, so that's a big time save, yeah.
So yeah, huge time save if they can pull it off. And they both need to get that key right now. So, but it looks like LilAggy is finally getting his costume sets. But still missing that life apart. It's not looking good. And even though we can see a life apart in the shop here, you can't just buy it because, as it says on the card,
Right.
it excludes shops.
Well, Aggie has all the 4 costumes officially. Braga still has 1 objective over Aggie, according to the board.
Yeah,
But
but
Aggie with only 1 more moon now, so it's
yeah,
anyone of game.
and he's about to try the key strat. We see him going over with Glydon. He makes it. He makes it over. Now all he has to do is the strat itself. He's able to save himself every time he misses by capturing, and he gets it
Oof,
pretty cleanly. 3rd try. That's not too bad.
that looks so scary.
So if Bryguy fails to get this strat a few times, that's all the time that LilAggy will need to be able to go into Night Metro and get his extra life apart. Unless there's a life apart in Lost I'm forgetting about. But I don't think there is. Oh no!
Oh no!
LilAggy pulling a Stravos.
I was about to ask,
Not
did he mean to do
remembering-
that? Oh
Yeah,
my.
not remembering to activate Klepto again on one of the times that he did a warp. And Bryguy actually decides not to even do the key strat at all. This is probably smart,
Wow.
considering LilAggy still needed that life
Oh
apart.
no!
Oh,
Aggie dying again. Oh my
yeah,
god.
considering LilAggy forgot one of the life aparts on his route, that's gonna be it. Yeah. So we were making a big deal about Bryguy's mistake going into deep woods, but
Oh,
it
yeah,
turns
that's
out,
it. Oh, shoot, I didn't realize it.
yeah, that's it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But it turns
Wow.
out that LilAggy made an even bigger mistake, which was forgetting
Right.
get a simple life apart along the way. There's really quick ones that you can get, and he just forgot them in Wooded.
Dude, that's I mean that's the thing, dude. Bingo. It's happened to me many times. That one little thing you forget, and then you realize that your whole route might be screwed, or you know, it's just a big time loss. That's. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, and we're gonna see him finish the run, I guess. He's gonna go to Metro, or maybe there's a faster way to go somewhere else first. But
Man. So let's say he did grab the heart. Do you think he would have been done before?
yeah,
Bry Guy?
I think so. Bry Guy was obviously leading until sometime in Wooded, but even though LilAggy left Wooded sooner, he forgot to get. It's like he could have taken an extra 2 seconds in the tower, an extra 2 seconds along his way to
Right.
get that extra life apart.
It definitely was something that just passed his mind.
Yeah.
It happens a lot in bingos. That's a tough one. But I guess we get to see him finish it at least, and they will be joining for the post-race interview.
Yeah. And we have Bry Guy here to greet us.
What's up, Bry?
Oh.
What were you thinking when you fell into Deep Woods?
I was thinking I probably shouldn't have tried to ground pound there. But yeah, I thought I lost it at that point because I knew Aggie was doing the same route as me. Like it looked, he was just a little behind at a lake. I wasn't sure how many costumes he already had and like life up hearts. So I knew I was sort of on the ropes there. I know he's the faster. I thought that sealed the deal. But
So like Travis pointed out, it seems as though Aggie just forgot the easy one-up part in Wooded, and that kind of ruined everything because now he's in Metro.
yeah, there's none in Lost. It's tough to
Yeah,
remember.
I'm
There were a
pretty
lot of
sure-
possible ones, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if LilAggy routed his life aparts better, he could have won that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure with your Deep Woods mistake, that would have costed you if LilAggy was just on top of his life aparts.
Yeah, I think so. I think outside of that mistake though, it was pretty clean. Oh, and the lake painting jump, it took me 3 tries. That definitely hurt quite a bit. But
What's up, Aggie? How you feeling?
Not good about life aparts. Those are the only 4 I know where they are. So
Oh,
I thought.
Yeah, you passed right by 2 of them in Wooded. You were 2 seconds away
Oh,
from
no.
2 of them. There's one in the tower and one up at the tanks near World Peace, like where you go and shoot the targets up top.
right.
There's one up there as well, near the 2D section.
So Travis was
shoot.
talking about that the whole time in Lost, and he was wondering, you know, he's like, so Aggie didn't grab the one-up part. I don't know what's gonna happen. But you know that I know that feeling because when I first started Bingo 2, being an RTE runner, I didn't know. I realized I didn't know half of the game, and it's like, where are the things? I don't know where the cannons are or whatever. So I know the feel.
Yeah, it's tough because like Life Apart's 1 is a newer square. It didn't used to be a bingo square the last time I had really grinded bingo. So it was like new even from my limited bingo experience. Man, that just stinks. And then I had a bunch of locations that I remembered being life up hearts, but they were actually just health hearts. Like I went to Harriet in Sand thinking that one in front of her is a life up heart, but that was just a big waste of time also.
There is one you can get on the way to Harriet. So
Damn it. How do you know this stuff?
I studied, man. I studied for the tournament.
I
go
couldn't
hard.
find a list anywhere.
There's on the cheat sheet you can find a whole bunch.
Was
of
it
stuff.
there? I must have missed it on the cheat sheet.
Yeah, I created a whiteboard and some of my own notes in a notepad and stuff. I studied stuff. I'm just really bad at routing and figuring out how long stuff takes.
Yeah,
Like
I think
originally, like for until sand or lake, like I thought you guys were gonna do snow. Like I knew about column 3 row 2 for sure, but I was thinking the top left bottom right for a bit. I just completely didn't even see column 5.
yeah, I had these lines figured out like pretty much as I was entering Cascade. It seemed really, really good and really obvious, but like
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, I had the
tricks,
same.
man.
I was very worried as soon as I saw these lines because I was like, oh no, Aggie's gonna see these two. He's faster than me. I'm in trouble. Because like everything else, you have to go to picture match or like somewhere
Yeah.
later than a lost finish.
Yeah, I mean, if the board was slightly different, top left, bottom right would be kind of good with the extra moons as well. Like if it was just any different, like that was the first row I even like the first line I was even starting to look at, so I was just kind of set on it.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like usually you kind of see one line that you really like and then kind of build the other two around that and then swap out one line for another line if you see
Yeah.
something that lines up a little better.
The good thing is changing to column 5 would be an easy switch if I was actually playing myself. So like I would have seen it. I would have figured it out. As I did during the commentary. Anyways, anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything about your runs that stand out?
Um, not really, I guess. I had some decent movement for the most part. I bonked a lot, but like I don't think I took a single unintentional death or anything like that. So I was happy with that part.
I
It was
saw you
just,
died in Lost.
Yeah, so that was an intentional death after getting the 8-bit moon.
Mhm.
So that warps me back up to the checkpoint where I can keep going with the rest of my route.
Okay, because I saw you were like going somewhere, and
Yeah.
then you bonked and fell in.
Oh, I might have died once after Klepto took my hat. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
that's
Klepto.
what it was. Yeah. He
Okay, yeah.
took your hat and
That
he
was a
died.
mistake.
Yeah, also
I
Klepto
totally
taking
spaced
your hat was a
that-
mistake
yeah,
too.
yeah, that was a big mistake. I totally forgot I had entered the shop and that would have reset him. So
I did that in
Yeah.
both of my tournament races, so I can't.
it's easy to slip your mind.
I can't. Yeah, I can't say anything about it. I can't.
That's
I
funny.
can't tell you off.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for taking part and good games to Bry Guy. And yeah, tomorrow's gonna be the grand final. So at 4 p.m. EST with Zimpars versus Neo YGG Drazzle. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Yggdrasil.
Okay.
It's a
Yggdrasil.
mythical legend,
Okay.
like Norse legend or something.
Right, that makes
you know,
sense. Neo
Norse
Yggdrasil.
god thing,
Yggdrasil. Yeah, so stay tuned for
Yeah.
that tomorrow. And that's it. Thank you so much, guys. We're gonna host somebody real quick. And yeah. Thank you guys for taking part. And thanks, Travos, for helping me understand more about bingo. Or
GG.
something about it. Alright, guys. Thanks a lot. See you guys around. Goodbye.